According to critics, a need to posit direct literary dependence between the Synoptic Gospels is required in that it explains how the Gospels parallel each other in Greek, word for word across dozens of passages, even though Jesus did not speak Greek. But the argument can be answered by asking a very simple question. What else would we expect on any account? Start with a very basic and logical assumption that the evangelists have the sayings of Jesus in Aramaic. If 2 or 3 of them set out to translate the material into Greek, would we truly expect wildly different results? Or would we expect results that were very much similar with only minor variations? To use an example cited by one popular theorist, there is a word we translate as patch, which is used only in these 3 verses in the New Testament. To critics, this can only be explained by literary dependence. But how many possible words are there for a patch that one puts over a garment with a tear? The theorists don't say, so while we are assured that this is one of the most remarkable coincidences, we are never told why. Nor are we given reasons why any particular parallel is remarkable, and why it cannot be explained, for example, by Matthew and Mark both having preferences established by local customary use of Greek in their common homeland of Palestine. What of that within even a few years the apostles would already have decided how to translate Jesus' words into the common language of the day, and thus have a consensus on what words to use in many cases? The argument from similarities of vocabulary simply doesn't meet the burden of providing the only or most reasonable substantiation for the parallels. I once tried an experiment in which I asked 3 native Spanish-speaking persons to translate the same English passage, the Gettysburg Address. Without knowing that the others were doing exactly the same thing, each produced a translation that was almost exactly the same. The only variations were in spelling. They chose exactly the same words, in exactly the same order. I won't go so far as to suggest an exact parallel, because English to Spanish and Aramaic to Greek is obviously not the same sort of transition. Nevertheless, every language has constraints of grammar, spelling, and usage that must be kept to when translating from another language. In order to show that the parallels in Greek among the synoptics is a problem, the theorist of the Q and Markan priority hypothesis must show that there were significantly different ways that the original Aramaic could have been changed into Greek. Next up, we'll discuss a few more particulars related to vocabulary in the synoptics. See you then.